Looks like we're online. Hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. I'm gonna quickly switch accounts on something so that I can put stuff in chat. Streamlabs, chatbot. Alright, so today we'll be doing some Solana development. Specifically, we're going to plan on, at least in the beginning, in Rust, making a smart contract, editing a smart contract that's a hello world for Rust, and then we'll probably move on to, a more complicated example. Well, not example, but we'll move on to a more complex smart contract that we're trying to make for NFTs, and NFTs specifically on Solana, specifically for streaming for the company that I've been working on called Easy Mint. So we should have a pretty fun 4 hours. Might play possibly some League of Legends at the end, but we shall see. Probably not for now. And if you want to follow along, I'll post the link to the smart contract that I'm working on right now in the beginning in chat. So yeah, 5 into 9 is my other account, which will be a moderator as well. Awesome, awesome. Let's see if I can move this camera a little bit. Not really. Cool. Good enough. Alright, so where do we leave off? Let's move this tutorial here on the side. So we were just working on deploying this Hello World program to the Solana DevNet. And the Solana DevNet is the test environment for the for Solana. And so, and maybe other chains as well. But for now, at least, what we need to focus on is figuring out why we're getting these Solana errors. So when we try to deploy the program, what's currently happening is that we get a rejection that we don't have enough Solana in our account. However, we actually do have enough. It's just possibly that something goes wrong in between on a couple steps. Let me fix this camera. I really don't like where it's at. Okay, that should be better. Awesome. Awesome. Alright, let's see if this works. Failed to send message. Right, okay. That's okay. That's fine for now. Alright. Let's follow the tutorial. We're going to first clear what we have here. And when you look at our dist does have a key pair in it, some cool key pair stuff, and then here's the Rust program compiled into a Solana program. Or smart contract. Maybe program. No, probably smart contract, yeah, because here's the client right here. Alright, so if we try to do the build, it's going to build correctly. And then it tells us we can deploy the program via this command, which for some reason doesn't actually work sometimes, so we'll see what happens. So it says the program address will default to this key pair, override with --program-id. So it's going to override to this hello world key pair.json, which is over here and maybe should work. So let's try running this command. So found argument study. Oh yeah, so problem here is that there's a space. So let's get rid of this. Let's use quotes. Then we should be fine. So we hit enter. We're waiting on this. We'll see what happens. We're trying to deploy to the devnet now. Okay, so here's the error we commonly get. It tells us that we need to recover the intermediate account's ephemeral key pair file with Solana keygen or recover with the following 12-word seed phrase. To resume a deploy, pass the recovered key pair. So I'm not sure if that is. I don't think that's referring to this, because this is the ephemeral key pair file. Possibly. We need to look up these commands. So to resume a deploy, pass the recovered key pair as the buffer assigner to Solana program deploy or Solana write buffer, or to recover the account's LAN ports, pass it as the buffer account address argument to Solana program close. So the error here is actually that this account has insufficient funds to spend, but we do have the 5, and what we can try to do is look up, or at least we can try to add another Solana couple of tokens to ourselves. So we're requesting it here. This is using the Solana command line interface right here. So that's what Solana is here. You can get that via going to Solana and downloading it. So hopefully we can get this. I'm really excited. Hopefully. So let's confirm our balance here. Okay. So our balance is this many LAN ports, maybe? It's not enough. Account 0 and account 1. That's interesting. Request too large though. But it was confirmed. So that transaction did occur. We do have the 5 in ours. Maybe something's changed. When was this created? This tutorial here. 2021, September 17th. So yeah, not fantastic. That could be a little bit out of date. Even though we found this, I think, off their website. So this is what we're gonna use later on, is the Figment Learning Solana pathway. But for now, we're following one of their older guides. And if it takes us too long, like if we can't figure this out in 15 minutes, yeah, we're gonna switch. Because we might as well. Don't want to waste too much time, you know. Okay. So just to give you guys a feel for the Rust program, it's using Borscht to serialize and deserialize a bunch of information. And then we got some struct. We have a struct, one function on the smart contract, and it takes in a program ID, some accounts, any accounts as many as you like, and then these are the accounts to say hello to. And then instruction data, which I'm not sure what that does, but we'll learn eventually. And then so it has the program result, it sends this message to someone, whoever I guess uses the smart contract, and it iterates through that. It could be multiple people. And then it also stores the greeting account dot counter, so each count for each person that ever connects to this will be stored here, and so it tells you how many times that you get said hello to. Okay, so what we're going to try to do now is look up those commands that it was telling us to use, because we likely aren't using them correctly, and we can use the -help. Okay, so Solana keygen recover flags option key pair, and I think key pair is actually a file, though it doesn't say that here necessarily. It says flags options args key pair prompt URI schema ask keyword. So yeah, so URI scheme would mean the file path. Flags, we shouldn't need to use any flags. Overwrite the output file if it exists. No, we don't need to do that. We may want to do this though. Skip seed phrase. If we're going to skip validation of seed phrase, that does sound like what? Because we created our first seed phrase without having a password on it, which is okay to do for development purposes. Alright, so let's see if we can get this recover command to work. So we got Solana keygen recover, and it wants us to use these words. Recover the intermediate account's ephemeral key pair file with this recover in the following 12-word seed phrase. So this is the seed phrase we're going to use, but we need to put it in the right place. And I think what that really means is we have to make a new file. So we'll say something like seed phrase, and paste that in there, save it, and we'll pass seed phrase on in. Should turn down the music a little bit, it's a little too loud. A little spicy tonight. Too spicy. Seed phrase. Invalid value for key pair. Unable to parse input as prompt. UI scheme or ask keyword. So maybe it can't recognize that it's a UI scheme. No? Okay. So this is all up to date. The stocks here are up to date, but it's not recognizing that. So maybe let's just run it without anything. Refusing to overwrite without -- force flag. Okay. -- force it is. If we could spell it correctly. Oh, there we go. Now we got those seed phrase. We got to put the seed phrase in. So let's grab that from our seed phrase file. If this seed phrase has an associated passphrase, enter it now. Otherwise, press enter to continue. I don't think it does. Yes. Wrote recovered key pair to that. Okay. That's going to be what is going to be used on DevNet. Now let's try this deploy command again. Please work, please work, please work. Solana, do your thing. And we can move on to a better tutorial. No! So sad. So very sad. Alright, well, if that doesn't work, and it gave us a new seed phrase here, which we're just going to ignore, because we're going to resume a deploy instead, maybe, and pass the recovered key pair, so this key pair, to buffer signer to Solana program deploy. So let's look at deploy command. This is how we deploy smart contracts onto the blockchain, Solana blockchain. Solana program deploy flags, options, program file path. Okay. So we're gonna put this recovered key pair. So we just need to like indicate that we're gonna do that. Hopefully it gives us a similar type of input. Buffer signer, intermediate buffer count to write data to, which can be used to assume a failed deploy. Okay. Default random address. Okay. Should we use the account address that we saw earlier? That's the fee pair, and this is us. Let's use that. Okay. Program deploy that dash buffer, right? And it wants us to do dash buffer, right? As the buffer signer to Solana program deploy or Solana write buffer. Or to recover the account's LAN ports, pass it as the buffer account address argument to Solana program close. So we should probably always use Solana program close. We didn't do that last time, and that's probably why things are being messed up. So let's look at this docs real quick. Dash buffer, then buffer signer. Great, cool. So let's do that then, I guess. No, okay. Let's do Solana program close and call it a day. Well, not a day, but we'll move on and we'll try to rerun the entire steps. To resume and deploy, pass the recovered key pair as the buffer signer to Solana program deploy. Excuse me. Or to recover the account's LAN ports, pass it as the buffer account address argument to Solana program close. Cool. Okay, so Solana program close -h is what we're gonna learn now. These are all important commands. This will probably be very beneficial later on. We'll know exactly what to do when things go awry. So we're looking for the buffer account address. Buffer account address. This maybe could be right. Oh, maybe it's just part of it automatically, right? We have to have dash buffers, and then we have a account address, so let's do that. So on a program close, then let's grab the account that we have. I hope this is the same account. Is that the same account that we looked at? Memo something. Oh, can't do that. Oh boy, definitely messed up the cursor here. Oh no, what have we done? Can't do anything. Nice. Oh, it was just about to do something. F. Let's get back to Ubuntu. Is this bash or is this Ubuntu? Like this. We have Ubuntu WSL, and then you have git bash. I don't really want git bash. Let's do that. Put that. Then, so it looks like it was. Okay, Solana program close dash buffers. Okay. So we need to have it in a file? I don't think that's right. Alright, so we'll run it with help again. Hopefully we can get that to work. Alright, so help. WebSocket URL for the Solana cluster. Actually, we should be using Restream to know whether or not no one's typing and stuff. Look at the main chat. Chat app. Open in the browser. Cool, alright, no one's chatting. If If you want to chat, if you want to ask me a question, go ahead. Alright, so we messed up a little bit with this, and we don't need to do recipient, we don't need to do authority. We do need to have buffers in here. We do need to have an account address. So buffers that match the authority. This isn't flags though. This isn't in the usage. So flags, options, args, account address of the program or buffer account to close, which is what I thought we did. Let's see if we messed up it a little bit. Dash dash buffers account address. Let's look back at the other. Oh, we can't look back. It's too bad. Okay, we'll run this again. No good. And we don't have the confirm. So let's do Solana airdrop 5. Let's just do like 15 actually. Let's get a lot of Solana. Alright, now we'll confirm. Since we have the signature. Then we can find the account address that we're looking at, which we could view online as well. I'll do that in a moment. Excuse me. So this should be our address actually. So let's change that. And pretty please work. No F cannot be used with dash buffers. Okay, so the program this just changed. I love this. Oh, okay. Not a buffer account. What about if I just say like account 1? Nope. Okay. We could try config, but we should at least know what it's about. So if we do dash config, we have file path, configuration file to use. So this is the default. That's what we're currently using, and that's what was set just a while ago. So we shouldn't have to use dash config. It's not reading this command correctly. Let's see. Aver. Close all buffer accounts that match the authority. Let's check the confirm again. Let's pay close attention. Here's the fee payer, which isn't us. Here's the account 1, which is us. Program ID, which is the program ID of the smart contract we're using to do the airdrop, I think. Memo program v2. This could be us. Could be, but looks like a lot of people are using it too. And it only has 0.5 soul left? That's weird. Maybe that's not actually representative of what we're thinking about. So tokens, no domains, just history. Cool, good enough. That's all we can figure out from the DevNet. That's fine. I wonder if we can look up our account though. Oh, this isn't us. Is it? This is the memo program address. Signature, recent block hash. So maybe there's, nope, that's not us. Default signer path, commitment confirmed. Request too large again, requires add 15, that 15 cap 2. Oh, so we just airdrop less. Let's see if we can get a success. Oh, that is way different. Let's do it again. Because we need 5 Solana, I think, to do what we're gonna do. Yeah, we need 5. Which is why I was showing us that we only had 0.5 earlier. We now have full Solana. Let's go! This is huge. We're figuring it out. And now we have 5. Okay, let's deploy now. Did we ever deploy on this instance? Okay. Oh, no, we need quotes. And I don't... Do we need to do that? We don't need quotes here, do we? No, we don't need quotes. Dynamic program error. No default signer found. Run Solana keygen new-o to create a new one. Okay. We might need to force this even. Okay. Interesting. This is our public key now. Very cool. Paste, that's our pub key. And then, what else do we have here? We also have our password, which is password. Don't steal it. Oh my gosh, you could steal it. And now let's see if we can deploy. Please, 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 please. Insufficient funds. Interesting. So, we thought we had enough, and apparently we don't, which is weird. So let's see if we can check like how much Solana we have in this guy. So let's do a Solana get account info, get get balance, check balance, Solana check balance. That's not what I'm looking for. Cloud usage reference, there we go. Here's our public key, then we can look at the public key eventually, right? Solana balance, so we can just do that. Oh. What did I copy? I copied an R. 5 sol. So we have 5 sol. And this is definitely not 5 sol, it's less. And it says this is us, this is us. This is the account, which I do not agree is our account. So let's see if we can use Solana program close. No, it doesn't like that, right? Okay. See, if we Google this, I think it's just going to say something like I'll probably be like, oh, well, you just don't have enough Solana, which isn't going to be helpful. We need something else. We need to use something else to figure out. So maybe we can use this right here and be like, yo, why isn't this working? Yeah, here we go. Someone else probably ran into the same issue. Yeah, this. Any up to them, this is the same problem, similar issue. I had installed almost everything under it. I started checking my stub toolchain via stub toolchain list. I discovered that somehow managed to install this for ARM64 instead of x86. Everything is now building. Okay. Oh, so I need to make sure that everything's correct. Yeah, it looks like the same issue. This causes the same error. You've got enough SOL in your account. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm the right cluster, so let's check that. What cluster are we on? I thought we were on DevNet, but we would need to make sure that's true. Let's check for the first one. WebSocket date version. 1.8.12. Okay, that's not really helpful. Excuse me. Oh boy. It's only 5:30 and I'm tired. Jeez. Oh, something. Nope. Solana, which cluster am I on? Connecting to a cluster. There we go. We are on DevNet Solana. Hell yeah. Yeah. Cool. So gotta make sure this match is okay. Doesn't match. So make sure the local cli is greater than or equal to. Okay, so we're fine. That's fine. Is this below what we were following before? It looks like it is, yeah. So let's check our versions again. Or maybe we can just reinstall Rust, maybe. They should probably just install it for us correctly. Yeah, which is what we used, I think. So we'll do it again. Yes and yes, and x86 64 unknown Linux GNU. Yeah, that looks great because that means 64-bit. But is there anything else that's wrong here? Proceed with installation. Oh. Okay. Okay. Alright, so we sourced it, so it should be all good now. I don't need to wait for anything. So that looks fine. Let's check. Zona config set that new force. Yeah, that's fine. We have enough Solana. We have the right Rust now. Let's check to see that we have everything else correct. Solana CLI, yup, Git, npm. So that's everything that we need. So let's try the deploy again. Maybe we should follow all the steps again, just to make sure everything is good. Make a new key. Plug this back into here. And then we should airdrop. No, don't do that. Oh. Come on. Give us 2 Solana, please. Cool. Alright, and now we should have enough. Almost enough. There we go. Okay. Now let's run this. We're in the right directory, right? Yes, we are. Alright, the build's going. That's fantastic. Major version of npm, yeah. Okay. It's working though, so I don't really need to worry about that. Programmer just will default to this key pair. That's fine. That's fine. Oh, it wants the quotes. So we also want to maybe like think about closing out these deploys too that we had. Oh shoot, we got it. We got a program ID. Let's go. Huge. Maybe we didn't have enough for the fee, you know, and that's why we needed six Sol. That could have been it. That really could have been it. We can hope that that was it. Oh no, don't do that. Okay. Let's close this seed phrase. We can now look up the Solana program ID on the DevNet Explorer. So it's an account, it's a program account. And now we can actually do some stuff with it. So history, okay, cool. So now let's continue on with the tutorial. Once the program's been built, you can then deploy it to the DevNet, which I thought we did. Oh no, so this gave us the program ID, but looks like it was up there. Program ID gave us a program ID. What do you want? Solana program deploy that. Which is this command actually. Yep, so we checked it out. Internet the deploy program. It's a simple client. This client is written in TypeScript using the Solana Web3 JS SDK and the Solana Web3 API. The client entry point is the main.ts file, which performs a number of tasks. Most of which are contained within the hello world.ts file. First, the client establishes a connection with the cluster by calling the establish connection function. Okay, so let's start this up then. Well, actually, we'll start it up in a second. We got to get to the commands to. Okay, yeah, figured. So let's get in the right. We need to. I thought we would need to cd into something. Maybe not. ls. I can do it here. that'll probably take a little while, so let's read the rest of this. Alright. To interact with the deployed program, blah blah blah. We talked about that. User established connection. Excuse me. Sorry. Coffee, and then coffee just, makes you tired. I feel like I just shouldn't drink coffee. Just like don't need it. Alright, so we make a RPC call, make a new connection. Not sure if it's IP or whatever the hell it is. Probably IP. Then we do establish payer function to ensure there is an account available to pay for transactions. It creates one if required. There's our promise. So we do some important things, like getting our minimum balance for rent exemption. Not sure what that means. The client then calls the check program function. The program doesn't exist, the client stops with an error. If the program does exist, it will create a new account with the program assigned as its owner to store the program state, which in this case is the number of times the program has been executed. Okay. Export async function, check program. And it does what it says it would have done. Let's see what we can do with it in a little bit. The client then builds up and sends a hello transaction to the program by calling the say hello function. The transaction contains an instruction that holds the public key of the hello world program account. Yup. To call and the address and the account to which the client wishes to say hello to. Oh, so can you say hello to yourself? I think you probably can. Each time the client performs this transaction to an account, the program increments account in the destination account's data storage. Oh, let's see that. Await, send, and confirm a transaction. I'm not sure where that would be then. I don't see how that happens in here, but I don't see how. Also, that could be because of the so we were looking at before. This is the reason why I think. This is a counter, and let's see, so this is mutable, and it's on the account that will get the hello. So yeah, that's what that's referring to. At least that's what the code is referring to. That's what that is referring to, the code. Yeah. Whatever, words are not easy when you're trying to think about all these things, but I'll get better. Okay, so we also have report greetings. We can query the account data to achieve the current number of times the account has had the say hello transaction call. Okay, cool. Interesting. Deserializing information. Okay, cool. Alright, running the client. So we did an npm install. We're going to do a run start in a second here. Cool. So this is a command line. This isn't going to be a website. That's fine. That's totally fine. Alright, let's run it. npm run start. It's going. It's chugging. Let's say hello. Using account that's containing lots of sold to pay for fees. Using program that, creating account to say hello to, saying hello to this random account. So I did it 1 time. Alright, let's do it again. Will it be 2 times now? It should be, because this account's the same. Let's go! Alright. Awesome. Alright, that's the first tutorial. Complete. Alright, so let's do a little debrief on that. We don't need this anymore. Alright, here's the debrief. Here's what we learned. Solana airdrop 2 is the limit. So always use this. In DevNet. What else? What else? Oh, hey Tucker. Good to see ya. Hope you're doing well. It's been a long time. Hope you're... Well, honestly, Wisconsin's not too bad right now to be in. It's like, it's kind of cold, but it's not that cold at all. It's like 30. So now, okay, so now, yeah, we're getting further into blockchain development. So I'm happy because it's something I'd like to pursue and I'd like to know about. And as for the business that I've been starting is a weird word to say it, but it's started, and I'm gonna make the product soon. But within the next 6 months, it'll be done. So that's exciting. But okay, so what else did we learn? We learned we need to learn more about Rust. We also learned, yeah, it's been a minute and you're trucking in Orlando right now. I want to go back to the cold. Nice. That's beautiful. I have a friend I just talked to in Florida as well, and he was what was he doing? He's doing some blockchain development too. But he was in like a t-shirt, and I was taken aback because what all I've been wearing is like sweatshirts and yeah, pretty much like sweatshirts, and that's it. Alright, so we can use this command to make a new key pair locally, I believe, if we understood that correctly. We can use this command to connect to DevNet. Any other important commands? I don't think so. We have to deploy one too. So we need to compile a code. And then what else we learn? We gotta deploy the code. And you can look it up on the Explorer. Deploy the smart contract. Cool. And then what else do we need to do? Oh yeah, we can look at the program ID on that here. We don't need this address anymore. We do need the cluster though. Nice, cool. To see your program ID, see your smart contract via looking up the program ID from the deploy, which will be a hash. Cool, cool, cool. Awesome. Alright, I'm going to take a quick break, and then we are going to work on the Figment learning tutorial that we've set up as well. We could edit this a little bit too. Maybe we'll do that later. But I really want to get into this. So, we'll be back in a little bit. Alrighty, we're back. We're back and ready to go. Ready to code. In reality, let's see if we can change these vibes a little bit. Let's see if we can get some hype. Hype. DMCA. Twitch safe. I think this is gonna be rap though. Like, we can't have swaying. Like we could, but I'd rather not. That's cool. Let's see if we can get the light more so towards me. That's a little bit better. Alrighty. Now we're going to be following another tutorial called the Figment one. And actually what we all have to do, I believe, follow it. Oh, jump too far. Jump too fast and too close. We need to run yarn, I think, and just start the server, and then it'll tell us what to do. Right, so git clone, cd learn it, yarn it, and then we'll yarn deb it. So we got some depressing music, which is apparently hype music. I would disagree. Maybe we'll just find the RuneScape OST. Find the most popular ones, why not? Look for adventure. Now we're hype. Awesome. And we're still yawning. Yearning for connection. No. Okay, so this is Discord as well. That's cool, great, amazing. They do say it's the best ways to use Gitpod, but I don't feel like doing that necessarily. I'd rather code my computer, at least for now. Solana, Neo, and Polygon. So we're gonna learn lots of development stuff, which is good. It's very good. That's the plan. Alright, so it's loading up. Let's look at an article, meanwhile, and we'll talk about it. Alright, so an important article that I think everyone should read if they're getting into crypto is Web3 First Impressions by... I don't know who actually. Who the hell is this guy? I don't know. or girl, who knows? Well, this person is a cryptography engineer, I believe. And a couple things to note is that Web3 is something that isn't defined yet. It has a lot of lies in it. Is a gold rush, kind of. That can't be stopped. And there's a couple other important insights too. Let's see if we can find them. So just creativity might not be enough. What was it? Looking at Web3 through the lens of small projects, people can see why some other people can find the Web3 ecosystem is super neat. Yeah, but it's not on a trajectory. He doesn't think that it's on a trajectory to deliver us from centralized platforms. Yeah, because they're currently using centralized and decentralized platforms like Infura and I don't know the other one, alternative to Infura. So it's exciting to build for, at least for us nerds. We remove a lot of constraints that Web 2 had. But also there's constraints of Web 3, which make it clunky, yeah. He's hopeful that the creativity and exploration we're seeing will have positive incomes, but he's not sure if it's enough to prevent all the same dynamics of the internet from unfolding again, right? All the, ads, centralization, I'm not sure what else, other bad things possibly. And in end, he says, in conclusion, he says, we should accept the premise that people will not run their own service by designing systems that can distribute trust without having to distribute infrastructure. What does this mean? We should accept the premise that people will not run their own service by designing systems that can distribute trust without having to distribute infrastructure. This means architecture that anticipates and accepts the inevitable outcome of relatively centralized client-server relationships, but uses cryptography rather than infrastructure to distribute trust. People will not run their own servers by designing a system that can distribute trust without having to distribute infrastructure. So, one of the surprising things to me about Web3, despite it being built on crypto, is how little cryptography seems to be involved. Sure. The way I think about this is that there's more decentralization that's going to create a little bit more trust. But, yep, and that's that. There's a lot of ifs, ands, and buts. We should try to reduce the burden of building software. Absolutely. At this point, software projects require an enormous amount of human effort. Yeah. Even relatively simple apps require a group of people to sit in front of a computer for 8 hours a day, every day, forever. This wasn't always the case in those times when 50 people working on a software project wasn't considered a small team. I see. As long as software requires such concerted energy and so much highly specialized human focus, I think it will have the tendency to serve the interests of the people sitting in that room every day, rather than what we may consider our broader goals. Right. I think changing our relationship to technology will probably require making software easier to create. But in lifetime, I've seen the opposite to come to pass. Really? Unfortunately, I think distributed systems have a tendency to exacerbate this trend by making things more complicated and more difficult, not less complicated and less difficult. Yeah. Well, we can work on simplifying things. Maybe still use decentralization. Looks like we're installing a whole bunch of other stuff, which makes sense because we're going to be using a ton of freaking libraries. A ton. So, let's find another article maybe. Or we'll listen to some crypto YouTube video for a little while and react to it. So we don't need that. Don't necessarily need this anymore. Don't need that. We need this. We don't need this necessarily. Nope. Nope. And nope. Good. Let's see. Who are we gonna watch? Should we watch some DAP University? Why not? Let's see if he has anything on Solana. Something 4 months ago, or years ago, or 2 weeks ago. Alright, we'll do...
Solana has been on an absolute tear lately. Their cryptocurrency price has exploded. We've seen lots of different NFT projects launch on top of Solana, and an explosion of decentralized finance or DeFi activity. So what's really going on with the Solana ecosystem? And that's a question that I get quite frequently in the live streams I do on this channel Monday through Friday. Just subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, you'll find out about those whenever we go live. People ask me all the time, should I be getting into the Solana ecosystem? It's really fast, it's cheap to use, and so I want to make this video as a blockchain developer to set the record straight and tell you what I think of Solana and how it compares to another smart contract platform like Ethereum, for example, and what I think the future of this technology is. So before we get into that, if you're new around here, hey, I'm Gregory, and on this channel, I turn you into a blockchain master. So if that's something that you're interested in, then /. What is Solana? Well, it's a high-performance blockchain that supports smart contracts. So you can see they boast of, sub-cent transactions, thousands of transactions per second, and it also has a native cryptocurrency SOL that's associated with it. Now, these are very impressive statistics for sure, and a lot of people think that Solana has big promise for the future, but just like everything else in technology and also most of life, these benefits do come with a certain set of trade-offs, which I want to talk about in this video. And so to explain what those are and what I think the future of Solana is, I'm going to compare it to something like Ethereum, which right now is the dominant smart contract platform. And so for the sake of, comparison as a benchmark, I'm actually going to compare this to Ethereum 2.0 and all of its capabilities versus Ethereum 1.0, which we're using today. All right, so let's start off with what Solana has going for it, what I think it's doing well. So, first of all, these performance benefits for sure are impressive. Okay, the price performance of the actual cryptocurrency itself has done well. It's actually done phenomenally well. It's seen a significant amount of NFT and DeFi adoption. It's already started to build a strong community around it. And it also has a pretty reasonable set of developer tools, which is essential for building a developer ecosystem. So if you're trying to get into this and you're curious about what the technologies are behind Solana, so you can create smart contracts and actually write programs for Solana in Rust or C or C++. So these are conventional programming languages with many applications outside of the blockchain world, which means that there is an opportunity to bring other developers who already know these languages into the blockchain space, but actually just train them to build blockchain applications or just learn it from scratch, and then you have this capability outside of blockchain. So these are all a lot of good things, but let's talk about the trade-offs, okay? Because like I was saying before, when you have performance benefits like this, they always come at a cost. So what are they? Well, to understand this, let's take a look at this diagram here. This is going to talk about one of the most common problems in blockchain, which is the scalability trilemma, okay? So these are 3 different problems that you have to take into account when you're trying to think about how do I make a blockchain that is performant, that preserves decentralization, and is also secure for people to store money and value on top of. Okay, so those are the 3 things: attention, scalability, security, and decentralization. This is what's known as the scalability trilemma. And at the end of the day, nobody's totally cracked this to where there's a perfect solution, which is they always come at a cost.